Hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss about refractories. So the word refractories derived from the French word refractaire. That means high melting. High melting. So that means refractories basically high melting materials. So refractories are composed by inorganic, non-metallic, porous materials. Inorganic, non-metallic, porous materials basically made up of additives, and then a binder face, and a mineral aggregate, So basically refractories serves as a structural materials and maintain its mechanical function at high temperature. So that's why the word high melting, so that means refractory, is given to those materials. So the main raw materials used to make refractories are typically silicon dioxide, and then aluminium, calcium, magnesium, and zirconium oxides. In addition, graphite, carbides, nitrides, borides, silicates, and other materials are few examples for non-oxide refractories. Alumina, fire clay, bauxite, chromite, dolomite, magnesite, silicon carbide, and zirconia are a few examples of natural and man-made materials that are used to make refractories. These materials are often non-metallic mixture of compounds. Basically, refractory materials are utilized to line the hot surface present in many industrial processes because they are more heat resistant. So that is one of the most important characteristic of refractories. So that means they are more heat resistant. So refractories can endure physical wear and corrosion brought on by chemical agents, in addition to being resistant to thermal stress and other physical phenomena brought on by heat. Therefore, they are widely used in construction. Refractories exist in a variety of forms and dimensions. They can be made in interlocking forms and wedges, pressed or molded for usage in floors and walls. While some refractories are large and may weigh several tons. When come to the classification, so refractories basically classified into three categories based on the chemical composition. First one is acid refractories, second one is basic refractories, third one is neutral refractories. This is how refractories are classified based on the chemical composition. Acid refractories, basic refractories and neutral refractories. So let us discuss one by one. Acid refractories. So acid refractories means these are the refractories which are highly stable and unreactive with acid slag. So refractories such as silica refractory, and then fire clay refractories, and alumina refractories. Alumina refractories. So these are some well-known acid refractories. So when come to the silica refractories, so silica refractories, so the name itself indicates, so the main component, I mean the silica refractories are basically made up of silicon oxide, that is SiO2. So that's why they are referred as silica refractories. That means silica refractories are basically composed by silica, SiO2. So either quartz or fused silica is utilized in the production of these refractories. Either quartz or fused silica is utilized in the production of these refractories. So silica refractories have a minimum silica content of 93%. So the main component of silica refractories are basically composed by 93% of silica, SiO2. Basically the furnaces used in the iron and steel industries have found extensive application for various grades of silica bricks. The unique quality of silica brick is that it does not start to soften under heavy loads until it gets close to its fusing point. Other benefits included volume stability, excellent spalling resistance and resistance to the flux and slag. When come to the fire clay refractories, on a volumetric basis, fire clay refractories account for around 75% of the production of refractories and are mostly composed of hydrated aluminum silicate with trace amount of other minerals. So in case of fire clay refractories, as I mentioned, so Al2O3 aluminum oxide of less than 44% and silica of less than 78% make up the typical composition. So that means Al2O3 less than 44% and silica SiO2 silica of about 78%, less than 78%. So fire clay refractories basically composed by less than 44% of alumina Al2O3 and less than 78% of silica SiO2. So certain kinds of clays are fired to create fire clay refractories. Kaolinite is the main mineral used in these refractories. When come to the alumina refractories, so the name itself indicates Al2O3 is the prime constituent of alumina refractories. In addition, alumina refractories is also consist silica SiO2. So that means Al2O3, alumina and SiO2 So are the essential components of alumina refractories. As well, at least 50% of Al2O3 must be present. 50% of the aluminum must be present. So those refractories are referred as alumina refractories. So when come to the basic refractories, so basic refractories are those refractories which are highly stable and unreactive with basic slags. Basic slags, and also they are highly stable with respect to neutral media such as magnesite, dolomite and chrome magnesite known as basic refractories. So actually there are three important basic refractories. One is magnesite refractories, and then dolomite refractories, and then chrome magnesite. So these are basic refractories. So when come to the magnesite refractories, so magnesia, right, is the prime component of magnesite refractories. So we know that magnesia is nothing but MgO, magnesium oxide. So this is the prime component of magnesite refractories. So important refractories of this kind are those made up of magnesium and carbon. So when come to the dolomite refractories, so these refractories primarily consist of magnesium oxide, that is MgO, in addition to calcium oxide CaO. That means dolomite refractories are basically composed by two ingredients such as magnesium oxide MgO and calcium oxide CaO. So dolomite that has been sintered is used to make these refractories. So when come to the third basic refractory, chrome magnesite refractories. So basically chrome magnesite refractories, there are two types: magnesia chrome or chrome magnesite refractories. Magnesia chrome or chrome magnesite refractories. So in general, chrome magnesite refractories primarily consist of magnesium oxide and chromium oxide. Magnesium oxide and chromium oxide, Cr2O3. So this is the components which are used to manufacture chrome magnesite refractories. With respect to those two types I have mentioned already, magnesia chrome or chrome magnesite refractories. So in case of magnesia chrome or chrome magnesium refractories, so only the difference is percentage composition of magnesium oxide and chromium oxide. So in case of magnesite chromite refractories, typically it consists 60% magnesium oxide and 8% to 18% chromium oxide. They are referred as magnesite chromite refractories. So under chrome magnesite refractories, there are two kinds: magnesia chrome or chrome magnesite refractories. Magnesia or magnesite chromite refractories means it should contain at least 60% of magnesium oxide and 8 to 18% of chromium oxide. On the other hand, chrome magnesite material or chrome magnesite refractories typically consist 15% to 35% chromium oxide and about 42 to 50% magnesium oxide. So this is the main difference between magnesite chromite refractories and chrome magnesite refractories. When come to the neutral refractories, so refractories which are highly stable and unreactive with slightly acidic slags. Slightly acidic slags and unreactive with slightly neutral media such as carbon and graphite, silicon carbides and zirconia refractories are known as neutral refractories. So that means neutral refractories means these are the refractories which are highly stable and unreactive with slightly acidic slags as well as neutral media, right? So refractories such as carbon and graphite, silicon carbide and zirconium refractories are known as neutral refractories. So when come to the carbon refractories, so the name itself indicates carbon is the main constituent of these refractories. As I mentioned earlier, there are three important refractories which comes under neutral refractory. One is carbon refractory, carbon refractories. Second one is silicon carbide refractories, and third one is zirconium refractories. Zirconium refractories. As I mentioned earlier, or the name itself indicates, carbon refractories means carbon is the main constituent of these refractories. Carbon is the main constituent of these refractories. So graphitized or semi-graphitized carbon can also be used in carbon refractories. So these carbon refractories are primarily used in highly reducing environment. When come to the second one, silicon carbide refractories. So this class of refractories is produced from silicon carbide. SiC. Silicon carbide. That's why they are referred as silicon carbide refractories. So a raw material synthesized in resistance type electric furnace at a temperature greater than 2500 degrees centigrade through the reaction of silica with carbon. This is how silica carbide refractories are manufactured. So just by treating a raw material of resistance type electric furnace at a temperature greater than 2500 degrees centigrade between silica and carbon. So when come to the zirconia refractories, third important type of neutral refractory. So zirconium oxide is the primary components of zirconia refractories, that is ZrO2. So zirconium refractories means, so zirconium oxide is the primary components of zirconium refractories. As building materials for high temperature application, zirconia refractories are very helpful. They frequently appear in applications including casting nozzles and gates, crucibles, furnace lines and kilns where temperature exceeds up to 1900 degrees centigrade. So this is about classification of refractories based on the chemical composition. So when come to the properties of refractories, so there are so many important properties of refractories. So we know that one of the most important characteristic displayed by the refractories is high melting. So that means refractories are materials that can be withstand high temperature without softening or deformation. So that is one of the most important property of refractories. They can withstand at high temperature without softening. Without softening or deformation. So importantly, the softening temperature of the refractory materials should be higher than the operating temperature. So then only you can employ the refractories into a particular application. Fortunately, many refractories exhibit high melting points due to the high strength displayed by their fundamental chemical bonds. And also, refractories are chemically inert. That is one of the most important property of refractory. Chemically inert. So that means refractory materials or refractories are chemically inert, but need to be very careful in selecting different types of refractories as we discussed earlier. For example, an acid refractory such as silica brick should not be used in contact with an alkaline product and vice versa. So that's why we need to be very careful while selecting the different types of refractories. So the third important property of refractories is porosity. So porosity of a material is the ratio of its pores volume to that of its bulk volume. So porosity is the third important characteristic or property of refractories. So we know that porosity of a material is the ratio of its pores volume to that of its bulk volume. So higher the porosity of a refractory material, more the penetrated by molten fluxes and gases. So for a particular application, refractory with the lowest priority may be taken because it will have the ultimate strength. So that's why the strength of the refractory material depends upon the pores present in the refractory material. That means lower the pores present in the refractory, that can be used in a particular application. So that's why that leads a ultimate strength. Next important property of refractories is exceptional heat capacity and thermal conductivity. Exceptional heat conductivity and thermal property. Thermal conductivity. So that's one of the most important property of refractories. They can withstand high temperature and also they can conduct heat. That is nothing but thermal property. So and also refractories are poor conductors of electricity except graphite refractory. So that is one of the most important property of refractories. They are poor conductor. Except graphite refractories. So and then refractories mainly exhibit exceptional physical wear and abrasion resistance. Physical wear and abrasion resistance. So these are some technologically important properties of refractories. In brief, these materials can withstand at high temperature without softening and deformation. Second one is refractory materials or refractories are chemically inert. They do not react with any type of reagents. But you need to very careful while selecting the different types of refractory. And third one is porosity. The pores present in the refractories should be negligible. Then only the strength of the refractory materials will be high. And then the heat conductivity and thermal property of refractory materials is exceptional. It's very good. And then refractory materials are poor conductors except graphite refractories. And then when come to the physical wear and abrasion resistance, refractory materials exhibit exceptional physical wear and abrasion resistance. So these are some important properties of refractory materials. So next is applications of refractories. Applications. So refractories are mainly used in lining for furnaces. So refractories are mainly used in linings for furnaces, as well as they are used in lining for kilns and also in incinerators. Linings in incinerators and also reactors. That means refractory materials are mainly used in the linings for furnace, kilns, incinerations and reactors. So these materials are mainly manufactured by using refractories. And then refractories are mainly used in the manufacturing of crucibles. They are also mainly used in molds for casting glass. Molds for casting glass, and also molds for casting metals. And also refractory materials are used for surfacing the flame deflection systems for rocket launch system. So refractory materials are widely used in surfacing flame reflector systems, or surfacing flame deflector systems for rocket launch structures. And also refractories are widely used in cement, glass, paper and metal manufacturing industries. And few refractories are used in muffles. Few refractories are widely used in muffles. Refractory materials are also used in steel industry. For the lining of basic converters and open heart furnaces. So these are some important applications of refractory materials.